Hey everybody, welcome. It's Pete. Welcome to today's episode of today's Best Stock Picks. It is Thursday morning, May 21st, 2020, and the theme of the day today is "It is what it is until it isn't." I'm getting a lot of feedback, especially in the private community and by email, about traders missing out on some good opportunities or feeling like they're missing out on some good opportunities. And that really comes down to you projecting onto the market that we shouldn't be going higher and we just keep grinding higher. Now, it might not be going fast enough for you where you feel like you need to have these fast momentum moves, but that's not true either because there's plenty of individual stocks, specifically Facebook, we'll get to in a second. Penn, PENN, has been having some really nice moves. It's really just a question of right now using the market as a guide to determine if you have extra power behind your back, meaning a lot more stocks doing the same thing at the same time. If that's not happening and or if that's not clear to you, it's very important to hone your stock picking skills and take advantage of some of these individual opportunities because you don't want to be looking back and saying, what was I looking at as a stock like Penn, PENN, for example. I'm going to take a look at it. It's when I was day trading yesterday. Almost doubles in price in 2 weeks. And you're saying, why did I not spot that? And it really comes down to digging in, doing a game plan, being ready before it happens, and not projecting that you think prices are too high and they should be reversing, because right now the big blue line is pointing up and we got to continue to be looking. That's not really great English, right? We should be looking to be buyers until we see a reason not to. Now, about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, we started to see some signs where it looked like the market was cracking a little bit, but it quickly resolved itself. And there's a difference between not wanting to be long, not wanting to be a buyer, or scaling back on being a buyer versus getting short. So you don't want to get caught in that trap where if you're swing trading, holding stocks for days, weeks, and months, where you're projecting that it's too high and you get out of good positions too soon and you don't participate in these kind of moves like I'm talking about with Apple, NVIDIA, PayPal, Square, all of these stocks that we've been harping on, for lack of a better way of putting it, for the last month or two. Even mRNA, Moderna, which had news. I don't want to talk about news rumors. A news story was released, and the market absolutely fell apart during the day. A lot of swing traders or investors would really not have that much of an idea of something happening like that within a 2-hour period. But the entire market collapsed when news that wasn't perceived as good came out on mRNA. And you would think that the stock would just absolutely collapse the day after the news, and it didn't. It actually had a rally that was very tradable, which really gets into the concept of, and I'm going to use a widely used term. I don't really like it, but trade what you see, not what you think. But my point was, Chris and a couple of other people in the community actually had the trade. Maybe didn't make as much as they wanted to, but I was harping on the fact that it was technically a very sound setup and his entry was very sound. Understand where he got in, understand why he got stopped out. And it was just a question of re-entering the position if the idea was still good. But the point is, he wasn't projecting onto the market that the news would follow through and be bad the next day. He was just trading, using his tape reading skills, using order flow, finding a good spot to get into, and the stock actually ended up rallying. So I can't stress enough, you don't want to leave money on the table by avoiding trades that are still working because you believe the market's going to turn around. It could turn around today. It doesn't make a difference. We'll pay attention, and if that does, we'll lighten up and maybe even change our opinion, our bias to short sell stocks that are already weak. You don't want to short sell strong stocks. So I can't stress enough that that's something that absolutely has to be paid attention to. As traders, we're only trading. I talked about it in today's Stocks for Breakfast. I understand fundamental analysis. I'm not saying anything wrong with fundamental analysis. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with interpreting the news. All of that works if you have the skill to do it. For most traders who are not desirous of interpreting news, not desirous of getting in and reading balance sheets, and again, I'm not saying anything wrong with it. Don't send me hate mail. Many technical traders believe that all of that news is already priced in because hedge funds and banks and all these other wealthy individuals that have teams of people doing research are going to make commitments, and then it's our job to hop on those commitments. So the term that we use is pick a side, then pick a spot. So we're going to look at a few opportunities that are going to be in my game plan today, and how I actually plan to participate in them today. So we're going to hop on over, and obviously we just talked about Facebook, but I want to start out with looking at the market. The SPY has now actually finally peaked above that level, but it has not been able to stay above that level. So to me right now, the SPY needs to be above today's open price and yesterday's close for me to have conviction in new longs. If we're trading below that, I'm in short-term trading mode again, and specifically individual stock trading mode. Again, we talked about the Dow. The Dow is still in this long-term trading range. It's really the Nasdaq that has been giving some of the best trades by far. And again, we just mentioned NVIDIA, and you can see why. Really, really solid uptrend that has not pulled back at all. Facebook yesterday will be in my game plan today. All-time highs in Facebook. You have to be looking to trade all-time highs. Although it did have a monster gap yesterday, they announced new Facebook shops, I believe they're calling them, and that's one of the reasons we got the bounce. Disney actually yesterday afternoon had a really, really nice breakout. The only downside of the Disney trades, now we have 2 bullish gaps in 3 days. It might need to consolidate that move. If it opens lower, it's actually a better opportunity because you're increasing the distance between your potential target and you're lowering your risk compared to your potential target. mRNA is the one that we talked about. We actually traded into what we call a tremendous bullish U-turn yesterday, where it eventually traded lower. You would think that it would continue to collapse. And actually, you know what, let me pull up the market really quick for those of you that are not day trading, just to show you how stark this is actually the news. When mRNA came out, the market just absolutely collapsed, but it was actually positive and near new highs at that time. And you would think that we would collapse, but we didn't, which I'm very happy to see that the people in the room and in our community actually looked at this as technically a perfect setup and actually got long. Now, one thing I want to talk about here, which is kind of interesting, is when stocks meet your scanning criteria, but they don't necessarily make a good trade idea, and CAR is actually one of them. It had a good day in the morning yesterday, and they kind of drifted with the rest of the market. But as far as a swing trading opportunity, I'm not looking for it until it gets above 20. I want to see it get near some levels. Now, you can say that's $4 away. Maybe you have one more day, which actually is interesting because we talked about that in Square yesterday. If you remember yesterday's morning meeting, you can see going back, it keeps having problems. We said it had one more day of profit potential, and that's actually what we saw. We saw it get up there, stall, and it's actually trading lower pre-market right now. Twitter's one that's actually been waking up. Really solid move in Twitter yesterday, in addition to volume picking up and clearing some levels. So I'm actually looking for Twitter above yesterday's high. Maybe not with a buy stop. I want to see how it unfolds during the morning before I get involved. But I do like the volume spike trading out of the range. Nice large range candle. So I call that fuel starting a new move. We just discussed mRNA. Penn, you can see Penn just a week ago was 15, went up into 28 range. The one thing I will say about Penn is that we did see exhaustion the last couple of days. So a higher push opening today with 2 days of exhaustion will most likely lead to profit taking in Penn today. So the better new swing trade in Penn would be to let it open higher, push, and then keep it on your watch list looking for a new move up into the 38 area. But again, stocks don't have to be expensive to be tradable, right? $16 stock that becomes a $28 stock. It needed to be in your list. If you've been watching the videos, if we've been watching that, it's been in the game plan. LYV, very similar, not yet to trade. I like it above these levels, above 48. I have an alert set up there. Keep an eye on that one. Dish, actually, yesterday, I was very disappointed in myself. For whatever reason, I didn't see it pop up in my scan, but this is why. You can see as a day trader why you'd be angry to miss that kind of opportunity. But then if you go back out to the daily charts, you can see that this is the first time it actually broke through and stayed there. So I will be looking for this. I think that Dish's first move today is going to be to make a run at yesterday's high and then ultimately up to that $34 level. Intel also yesterday broke out. And if you're not a day trader, this is just, Jerry called this out in the room yesterday. Really solid move yesterday. And again, I don't care what the reasons why are. I'll look at the reasons why after hours right now. I know the tape was good in it. Not monster room to go up to 68. So depending on where it opens, I like a buy stop above yesterday's high. We'll see how that unfolds. Disney we discussed. Facebook we talked about. PayPal finally got out of the 7-day trading range, gave us another good day-to-day trade, and we're still looking for new longs here. At a lower opening, we're still looking for a spot to buy. So some opportunities there. I actually don't have anything on the short side today. It seems to be everybody loves to be long with good reason, with a $2 trillion stimulus package holding the bids below the market. The one thing I will say is, again, getting into scans versus trades. We talked about Chewy yesterday. Intraday, it actually came up on my scan as potential bearish when it broke this level. I'm actually looking for this stock to open lower, test the previous day's low, and then find some buyers and look for a couple of dollars as a short-term day trade to the upside. You can see it's mostly in a trading range for the last few weeks, but I do think it's going to trap some shorts on a lower opening, find buyers, come back up, and we're going to seek to take advantage of that today. So that's a pretty detailed game plan for that one. So if you have any questions, absolutely leave a comment. I'll cover it as soon as I can. If you enjoy these videos, it would mean the world to me if you can click down and also give us a like, and most importantly, subscribe so you get the updates. Have a great day, everybody.